What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Tim Gettys and Blessing Adeoye Jr. reaction to what we got to play at the Nintendo Switch 2 event in beautiful New York City. Bless, how you doing?
I'm doing real good.
Yeah.
I'm doing real good.
It's been a good day, and I feel like it keeps getting better. Like I've loved, we've now sitting here talking about all the games we're playing, whether it's Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Mario Kart World, the GameCube games we got to do, just the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware in general.
Yeah.
And I think talking to you about it is like making me even more excited than I was earlier.
It's like, it's a fun debrief on like, well, such an eventful day, and well, such a good day, right, of getting to experience a new Nintendo console. But now we get to like break it all down and kind of like do our own therapy of, oh yeah, let's talk about what we just experienced. We got to experience a new 3D Donkey Kong game.
A new 3D Donkey Kong game. A Donkey Kong 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That seemingly is from the Mario Odyssey team. They would not confirm when anyone I was talking to was just not going to tell me. You know what I mean? Nintendo doesn't want to tell us who made it.
You got to keep all their games equal.
So
you know what I
weird.
mean? Got to
So
keep it all
weird.
equal.
But it seems to be the Odyssey team. And in addition to that, whether it is or is not, it's fine because this seems like to be the placement of a 3D Mario, right? Like we all expected a 3D Mario at this Direct, and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
We got this.
I mean, I want to ask you if like, do you think we'll still get another 3D Mario? But we'll see. We can say that.
No. The answer is yes.
I mean, this year.
Absolutely. That's
what I meant.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
But I've been theorizing. 3D Mario is going to include playable Donkey Kong. I was wrong, but I was onto something. Playable Donkey Kong. They're putting focus on our boy. Bless, I know you love Donkey Kong 64.
Yes.
What did this announcement do for you? And then tell me about your thoughts on the game.
The announcement was hilarious to me because I never thought we'd get another 3D Donkey Kong after Donkey Kong 64. It's wild because DK64, it's not a terrible video game. All right. Let's start. No laughing back there, Roger. No laughing back there.
No confidence.
DK64. Okay, here's the thing. I'll say with confidence. DK64 is not a terrible video game.
He's right. It is not.
It's not a terrible
even
video
a bad
game.
video
It's
game.
not even a bad.
It's just not the best. Sorry, here's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
It's the worst of the rare platformers.
And I don't even agree with that.
Really?
I think DK64 is fucking phenomenal and that the world is wrong. But that can be a whole
Okay,
nother-
no, but real quick, I mean, do you like what is
It's better
one,
than Conquer.
You think so?
As far as gameplay and control,
You think so?
Conquer's fun as
Yeah.
like, oh, it has a fun multiplayer mode and it's funny. But like the gameplay of Conquer isn't all that. Let's be real, guys.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. DK64 gameplay is better than Conquer gameplay.
Okay, but how's the gameplay of Donkey Kong Bonanza?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, you mentioned like, is this by the Mario Odyssey team? It gives me the vibes of like,
It is.
It
I
feels
would
like
bet
it's
money that it is.
It feels like it's by the Mario Odyssey team in the way that this is a collectathon, right? Where you have golden bananas. Let's freaking go. If you're a DK64 fan, you have golden bananas that you're collecting, right? And the ways in which you encounter them, the ways in which you find them, feel very Mario Odyssey Moon-like in the sense of, oh man, I look behind this wall. Oh, there's a golden banana
There's a
here.
little thing here. There's a little thing there. There's a big thing there.
There's a big, bundle of bananas here. All right, cool. Like, you are going around collecting these collectibles, and they're spread out all over the place, right? I think the thing that impressed me the most, starting off with this, is how much destruction there is, the destructible environment, and how the game revolves around that. Even watching the trailer, right? I think I was so enamored with just the Donkey Kong of it all that I wasn't thinking about how much destruction there was going to be in this game. But you start off the game and it is, all right, dig around, like punch the ground, punch the walls. Like, it feels like I'm playing Red Faction and I got a rocket launcher. I'm just like trying to make tunnels or whatever, right? Like, there's so much destructible environment stuff in this game, and the game revolves around the design of that. And it gets interesting, and it gets a little bit complex in that, where you have different surfaces that act different ways. We started off in a cave that just has a dirt ground, and so you're just breaking through and it's easy, right? Or like you can press R2 to pick up a lump of ground and throw it at somebody, right? Pick up a rock and throw it at somebody. Later on in the demo, I'm on a different surface that's more of a tougher surface, and I died because I was like trying to beat an enemy by picking up a piece of the ground and throwing it at them. And I looked at the person that was demoing the game with me, and I was like, hey, like, why isn't the thing working for me to pick it up? And he's like, oh, you might be on a tougher surface. And I was like, oh, it's like that. And like, it kind of goes on as far as you have certain enemies that might be have a concrete shield, and so you need to pick up an explosive surface to throw at them. Like, they kind of go deep with the different geometries, and like, I don't know, I was very impressed by that stuff. I thought it was really cool. But going into like just the concept of the game itself, the style of it, the Donkey Kong of it, getting a golden banana.
He has pants.
He has what?
He's wearing pants.
Oh, he's wearing pants, right? And like collecting a golden banana and it being like, oh, banana. Like, it is giving me all the shit that I want.
Those were like voice things. It wasn't just Bless saying that.
Yeah, no, it's like it's literally in the game it says it like that, which is a DK64 reference. But Tim, what did you think of Bananza?
So, I'm very all over the place with this one.
Yes.
Obviously, 3D platformers, a huge fan. Nintendo platformers, huge fan. Donkey Kong, huge fan. Donkey Kong 64, not a huge fan.
Sure.
But that notwithstanding, seeing this trailer, I was so hyped. And so much of what I saw in that trailer, I was like, oh my God. I can't believe this is happening. This seems to be the Odyssey team. But it's Donkey Kong playing a different character. What fun are they going to have with it? Seeing some like 2D inspired locations like that look more like Tropical Freeze and stuff. I was hyped for that. Like all that stuff seems great. And then when I got my hands on the controller, my first impression was, oh wow, this is a brilliant controller design. You have jump on the A, which on Nintendo is like the circle. You know what I mean? The right button.
Right button.
But then the let's just call the face buttons by the direction. The up, left, and down all correlate to smashing, like punching or like digging in different ways. So you're either like digging up to the side or down. And that's so intuitive. And like immediately I was like, I haven't played a game that works like this, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was really awesome. Having the different shoulder buttons do the different type of Donkey Kong moves you'd be familiar with. Like it all just makes sense. Being able to climb walls, being able to just do all the Donkey Kong stuff, it feels right. This feels like they translated Donkey Kong, the rolling, all of that into 3D in a great way. And there was so much stuff that I really, really loved. I loved the amount of secrets there seemed to be, how open the area was, and how it's one of those, if you want to get there, you can find a way there.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, there was a moment in my demo where the demoer mentioned that we got to an area like the first layer of a level essentially, and we open a map and like you kind of see a big area, and he's like, dude, you can go anywhere. And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
And you kind of like go through, and if you find the right area, you can dig all the way down, and then you're in a different area.
Yeah.
You're like, and then the demo kind of stopped there. They wouldn't let us
explore
the sub-layer or whatever. But how many sub-layers are there? Like, it felt vast and big and felt like there was going to be a lot there. Now, my thing is, I didn't love my time with this game. And I'm very surprised by that. This seems like a very up my alley thing. The reason is the destruction stuff wasn't fun to me. It felt like being able to just destroy anything and just punch everything. It felt like noise very quickly. It felt like stuff that I'm like, I'm just hitting buttons and things are happening, as opposed to like, I know what I'm trying to do and I'm doing it, you know? Like I think of Mario Odyssey and I think about how he moved and how Cappy allowed you to jump on him and you roll and jump and all that stuff. Mario and Donkey Kong, I get they're different, but I don't like it's like, oh, the big monkey punches things. It kind of had that vibe to it. And I hope that I'm wrong. This is early and like a lot can change. I think that there's depth there, like you're talking about, of like the different qualities of what you're on with, like how
the different
hard
types
it
of
is or whatever,
services and stuff like that,
and how things are affected. And I did love that it's like there was so much to run into, that a fun secret here, a surprise. You run into Cranky Kong and he's telling you about Rambi.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh,
that's the thing is like all the different Kongs you're running into.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot.
There's a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot to talk about here, because I understand your point totally. And the thing I'm fascinated by, and the thing that I think delights me, is that this game feels inspired. And is that inspiration going to take us to like the next, iteration of this is the new Donkey Kong franchise, that this is what it's about?
I'm so hopeful.
Or is it going to fall flat, right? Because I could totally see the thing of, okay, you guys had this idea of the destructible stuff and he's digging through and he's doing all these things, and it turns out the audience didn't really mess with it as much, right? Like, I totally see that. But on the other hand, I'm looking at it as like in the way that Mario Odyssey is all about movement and like, controlling other enemies, right? And doing all these things, right? This game feels like it is about digging for the solution. Yeah. Pun intended.
Yeah.
Roger liked that.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I didn't even dislike it. That's what I'm saying. Tim Gettys didn't love a brand new Nintendo 3D platformer the first time he played it. That to me, I think, is just where I am at with it.
Yes.
And again, that can change. But I just want to be honest about my thoughts with my first experience with it, where again, nothing about it was bad, but playing it, while it clearly seems like, oh, this is the Mario Odyssey team, it reminded me more of a non-Nintendo platformer.
See, the thing that I'm the way that I framed it in my brain, as far as what this game is to me, right, is like you talk about it being kind of like the Mario 3D platformer of the year. For me, I came out of it being like, oh, this is like the Kirby and the Forgotten Land of the year, right? In the sense of, hey, Donkey Kong hasn't had his own like 3D platformer in a long time, and they are taking this character that we know from Nintendo that is like on the forefront and defining it in a new way that,
which is very exciting.
If it hits, like, I don't think it's going to be Mario Odyssey levels necessarily, but I could see it being Kirby Forgotten Land levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, not a bad thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And to run with that even more, I think that a app comparison that I kept thinking about as I was playing it is 2D Mario versus 2D Wario, where on paper you look at very similar games, but the gameplay is so different because of what the gameplay focuses on. Whereas Mario is way more obstacle and speed and movement. Wario is a bit more slow, methodical, breaking things and puzzles. You know,
that's a really
and
good
this
comparison.
Kind of seems like that in a 3D sense of 3D Mario versus what this could be. And yeah, I'm very excited for it. I think the July release date is very interesting to me. Of like, I think that also fits of like, maybe this isn't the big Nintendo EAD Mario Odyssey team game. Maybe this is maybe this is that team, but like a smaller version of it, because that date to me just kind of reads
it being right after Mario Kart, I think, kind of makes it like
right after.
Yeah.
If this was October, I'd feel different about it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy there?
I feel what you're saying, because if you replace this, it's the weird thing, right? We're gonna get into some answers, but like, if you replace this with a Mario Odyssey 2, for example, I would look at this and be like, you're releasing Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey back to back, like in like a month apart from each other. That's weird, right? Like, now, granted, this isn't a Mario thing, right? This is Donkey Kong, different character, different. Like, I think you can make the argument of, oh no, we are looking at this as a completely separate franchise from a Mario Kart because we're Nintendo. We only have so many characters that we work with, right? Like, I don't really know what to make of it. Either way, right? Like, I guess, I don't really look at it as, hey, this is the star of the show for the year. I kind of look at Mario Kart as that, and Metroid Prime 4 as that in a different way. But this almost feels like, if there's a trinity, like, this is the third one. If this is the big three, Roger, and we're talking about Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, Donkey Kong is the J. Cole.
No.
Well, I guess Drake's number 3 now, right?
We're going to take a quick word from our
Drake.
sponsor, and we're going to continue this conversation right after that. This episode's brought to you by Lost Skies. What would you do if you woke up and the world around you was now floating high in the clouds? Lost Skies is the new open-world survival-like that puts the power of exploration and choice in your hands. Use the physics-based grappling hook, glider, and your own custom airship to traverse the remains of this fractured world and uncover its mysteries. You and up to 5 friends will harness the power of ancient technology to survive the hostile islands that scatter the horizon and the threats that lurk in the sky itself. The battles are intense, so it's up to you to build a skyship to shelter you in fierce storms and take the battle to gigantic monsters. Want to take a break from fighting in the skies? Use the intuitive island creator and share your builds with the community. Head over to Steam and Wishlist Lost Skies today and discover what's lurking beyond the horizon. This episode's brought to you by Monaco 2. Gather your crew, plan your heist, and let the chaos unfold in Monaco 2. Return to Monaco, a city teeming with excellent scores and gullible marks ripe for getting parted from their prized possessions. Go it alone or tackle heists as a team of 4 with online and local co-op. Just remember, even the best laid plans can blow up in your face, so you'll have to stay on your toes. Monaco 2 is the sequel to the cult classic Monaco. What's yours is mine that expands on every aspect of the game. New characters bring unique abilities and playstyles to help you escape the heat. And with new modes and procedurally generated levels, every run is full of surprises. The heist is on when Monaco 2 arrives on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation on April 10th. Y'all know how important it is to wishlist these games. It helps the developers so much, so please wishlist Lost Skies and Monaco 2. This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. You sign up for something, forget about it after the trial period ends, and then you're charged month after month after month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. In fact, 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Thanks to Rocket Money, you can see all of your subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones you're not using anymore, and save more money. Rocket Money has helped multiple members of Kind of Funny learn that they're still paying for things they totally didn't even realize. You know who I'm talking about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/kindoffunny today. That's rocketmoney.com/kindoffunny. I feel what you're saying. And it's to be clear, I love that this is happening. And I'm hopeful that my first impressions end up being wrong. And I think that there's a good chance that that's the case. There's a lot going for this game that I did enjoy a lot. I think another kind of thing that my first impressions, playing it visually, I was like, this is a Switch 2 game, huh? Like, I wasn't blown away by it. I was very much like, oh, wow, this seems kind of Switch-like. And more than that, art style-wise, I wasn't blown away by it because I'm like, oh, man, this kind of feels like Nintendo house style. And it's Nintendo, so, like, I'm not necessarily mad at that. But if Donkey Kong's going to get his, like, first big 3D outing, I kind of expect a level of Nintendo magic to that, especially if it is the Odyssey team. If it's not, I think I have very different expectations for this game.
I agree with you in terms of the presentation fidelity, not saying Switch 2, look at how technically impressive this is. I felt the same, but where I did feel it was in the destruction. Right, the fact that you have so much going on screen, so much destructibility on screen happening, that was where I was like, I don't know if you can pull this off on the Switch one. Like, this is actually like pretty impressive for what you're doing here. And again, it all leads to the hope thing for me, where it's tough to talk about. Of all right, in the final product, right? If you take that all the way, if you guys went so hard on this concept of Donkey Kong and destructibility in the levels, there's got to be some great ideas here in terms of what you're going to do with the game design.
Yeah, and to be clear, for the 10th time, I don't want to come off as I'm hating here. Yeah. I just want to be honest about my first thoughts on this thing. And a lot of that was backed up, not just looking at it visually and all that stuff, because there was a lot of things, but when I was talking about like the destructibility to me wasn't necessarily that fun. So I'm like, okay, well,
if this is the thing.
The technical aspects of it that are being added for the Switch 2 aren't that fun. I don't know if that really was worth it, whatever. And a big problem that I had with it is how often you're digging and the camera seems to be in a place where you're now kind of seeing through different surfaces and stuff. And I'm like, I don't like how the screen looks right now. Like, it's just like, I don't really like the angles I'm looking at. And that seems to be the gameplay of it. So all that stuff kind of like in the 20 minutes I played, I just feel like I was kind of hit with back-to-back things that I'm just like, damn it. Like, again, none of it were bad. I just was like, kind of like, I was let down by my expectations.
You were looking at it as like, hey, this is a big Nintendo title of the year.
Yeah.
Let's see if it's got the stuff.
One of the Switch 2's first big things. And again, I'm very hopeful for it turning out to be a fantastic adventure that I end up loving. But we weren't the only ones that played it.
No.
Roger Picorni also played it. So, Roger, am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I understand what you're saying, right? I think I was doing a lot of dumb facial expressions at you as you were talking, because it's like, I didn't expect you to go that direction, but I understand. Like, I saw everything you were saying, right? In the very beginning, when you're in the mines, right? The Donkey Kongs yearn for the mines, and you're digging around. Like, you get caught in those little areas that you were just stuck in, and the camera is like, I don't know it's freaking out. It doesn't know what's happening. But to me, like, as soon as I got out of that, I was blown away. Like, I was like, fully like locked into this experience in a way that I did not expect whatsoever. I'm not a Donkey Kong person. I don't even like the guy. Kind of whoa. If I'm really talking about it, like
that's Diddy's brother. You put some respect on him.
Yeah, no, but I was interested in the idea of like, okay, we're just destroying things, right? That was the biggest thing was like, everyone was like, oh my God, this is therapeutic, right? Like, you're just breaking things. It's like, okay, I expected like the mayhem of it. But what I didn't expect was the game design of it, right? Like running around, and it is very Mario Odyssey in my mind, at least, because as soon as we got to like the bigger area, I climbed up and I was like, okay, I assume like some type of moon would be here into Mario Odyssey. I climb up to the highest point. There is not a moon, it's a map. And it shows me, oh, there's going to be a banana here. And then I dig like treasure. Oh, I found the banana. And then the person that was doing the demo at the end of the day was like, I've never seen anyone do that or find that. Like, there is so many variations. And I kept on going and just digging in random places. And he was like, oh shit, I didn't even know this whole area was here, right? Like, continuously finding those moments with the person that was demoing it, and also just finding these little crevices, because I saw you play it, Blessing. I saw your entire playthrough of it, and I was finding completely different ways to get around it. And by the ending of the level, to get to the sub areas we talked about, you do have to do like a little mini boss fight, right? So, and I was so blown away when I was talking to the demoer, where he was like, you don't need to do that. Like, you could just, there's 3 different ways at least to get around and get to that sub area that the game just doesn't tell you. So I'm really excited to see that. And also, I understand like the graphical fidelity of it, but the game ran really well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that to me is like the thing that really makes this like stand out.
And just to be clear, not a bad looking game.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a letdown for next generation Nintendo.
But when his fur gets wet, dude. When his fur gets wet, dude, that's a wet fur.
God, man. I'm just like, it's just one of those things. Like, I remember seeing Star Fox's fur on the GameCube when it got wet and how impressive that was. And seeing this, I was like, I'm not impressed. And maybe I am just too long a Nintendo fan, and I've seen these little things too many times. But like, I don't know.
I get it, but I like that wet monkey. I like it.
It's a crazy sentence.
I like it. I had a blast, and I was so happy by the ending of it, because I immediately knew that this was going to be a Roger game, and this was going to be a game that I'm going to sink so much time into. And it just didn't feel like a throwaway experience, right? It didn't feel like a spin-off, right? It feels like his Odyssey. It feels like Donkey Kong Odyssey in the most like real and genuine way to that character that doesn't just feel like, oh, we're making him Mario. We're making him do Mario shit. It's like, no, he's fucking digging. This guy's digging.
He's digging.
And also, it's the way that they do it, like, as you said, as you alluded, right? Like the rock textures and like how hard the rocks get.
Yeah.
I know
that sounds crazy.
It's crazy, but it's true, right?
But
like,
it's true.
how hard the rocks get. And also, something I found out, like, the demo was telling me, like, you can pick up rocks and use that to, like, dig faster, deeper down. Like, there's, like, a lot of mechanics.
You can pick up rocks and then, like, use them to speed through the level.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can ride on it. Yeah, you can surf on the rocks.
Dude, it gets pretty deep.
It's like SpongeBob.
We only played this for 20 minutes, so I was like, this seems, like, the fact that we're, like, learning about this as we're going out multiple playthroughs, like, we each did different things, like, this seems really deep.
It strikes me as a different kind of 3D platformer. It's like a Tinkerer's 3D platformer. If you're somebody that likes to just like fuck around in the world and like dig for things, play around with the mechanics, like if you're a tinkerer, like I think this might be a 3D platformer that's geared more toward that style of gameplay than like the obstacle based stuff that like I know me and you absolutely love.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, I'm very fascinated because I also hear everything that you're talking about as far as the things that didn't hit for you. Even though I know you're not saying that's like, you know, you're not gonna like it or whatever, but like I totally feel where you're coming from, but also I think I'm equally parts excited for the things where I'm like, oh, I can see where this can go. Yeah. And I just hope it gets there.
Absolutely. I think that this is a moment for Donkey Kong to define himself to a new generation, and that's important. You know,
we talk about him like he's LeBron.
Real talk though, it's right. Yeah. Like we've had heydays for my boy.
Yeah.
At multiple, and then we've had a couple times where he was stuck in spin-off hell. And I'm not saying those games were bad, but you know, for the longest time he was the Conga guy. Right. Yeah. But like just like totally not a factor in terms of like high profile Nintendo properties. But with the Mario movie, with Donkey Kong Country at the theme parks, like I really and a movie, we're getting a Donkey Kong movie.
Yeah.
We haven't heard about it. I mean,
Nintendo's going hard with the Kong. Yeah. Like you're absolutely right.
And I that makes me really, really happy. It's interesting where it's like, you know, you see the like Donkey Kong Country inspired like 2D like bit in the trailer, which I didn't get any. None of us got any of that in this, right? There's that. I'm like, I'm interested in like how it's going to show respect to that stuff. Again, as a OG Donkey Kong Country sicko, I'm very sad to hear David Wise is not part of this at all. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get that classic Donkey Kong music. Doesn't seem like Grant Kirkhope is either.
Yeah.
And the music, when I said the Nintendo house style, like this sounds very similar to the Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey type stuff. Is that a complaint? No. Yeah. Like we're talking about some of the highest production value music in video games. So I'm not mad at that stuff. It's different, and maybe I'm reacting to that in a negative way, but I'm still very hopeful for it, and I love that you guys are so stoked for it because, again, I think that that it's important that Nintendo just doesn't put out another Mario. It's like, cool,
Yeah.
they're doing this, and we're gonna get another Mario.
Yeah.
So
I'm so high on this, right? Like the change to Donkey Kong's art style as well, I think allows him to be a bit more expressive, right? And I kind of like finding a direction and being like, all right, what is the vision this generation for Donkey Kong? All right, put him in the kart game that way. Like, you know, like let's lean more into what this generation's Donkey Kong is. Again, we're talking about him like he's messy, right? But like, I mess with it, and yeah, I think the Wario Land comparison is so apt as far as it's a similar kind of game that we've seen them make before, but they're figuring out how it works for this character and what unique thing they can do with it. And I think even to the Grant Kirkhope and David Weiswell, and like to the classic DK, like DK Country and 64 of it all, right? Like, I think one of the exciting things is the fact that this is Nintendo's first take on a 3D Donkey Kong game, right? Original 3D Donkey Kong game, right? And like, I guess they didn't make the 2D games as well, because that was rare as well for all the Donkey Kong countries. Like, I'm so excited to see.
And then retro for.
Oh, you're right. It was retro. I was trying to think who made the
Returns and
modern
Force,
ones. But yeah, this being Nintendo's first take on Donkey Kong, I'm excited. I'm like, what is this going to be?
And you know, one big positive for me is you can climb, and it's like, oh man, Breath of the Wild or whatever. There's a twist on it that I think is really wise, and it reminds me of one of my favorite games of all time, Yoshi's Island, where it's very adventure-based. This is exploration-based, as opposed to like obstacle necessarily. And I think that that's a very smart call for differentiating it from a Mario or something like that. But on top of that, climbing, there's no stamina meter. You can climb as long as you want. And
reminds me of DK64.
But there's something about it where the world is set up to explore in a way that I think is very, very valuable and like respects your time and gameplay.
Yeah, it's grounded.
You know what this feels like? It feels like Hulk Ultimate Destruction in like a real way. Like it feels like that vision taken to its nth degree, right? Like he feels so heavy and strong and like aggressive in everything he does. And I think that's like the best thing about this game is like, when he goes on the wall, he's just going for it. Yeah. Like there's no like the momentum does not stop whatsoever. It's really fucking impressive.
Yeah, it's gonna be unique.
It's going to be unique.
I like that about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me weird ass games.
Yeah, and we won't have to wait too long. July. I think that's awesome. This is a second month game for the Switch 2. So very, very cool stuff. Let us know in the comments below if you're excited for this and what you think about Donkey Kong 64. And
is it better than
you know
Conquer?
what I mean?
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I apologize for what I said earlier. All right. I mean, I'd stand by it. I think DK64 is a better video game than Conquer, but I understand that most of you guys will look at me and be like, he's insane. But the people that know, they fucking know.
Are you one of them? I don't know.